Welcome, everyone. Now, I'm talking about something that very few people will even know about, and that is Tupac had beef with Xzibit. Yeah, that's correct. Now, make sure you sub to the channel, and I'm going to get straight into this one. So, in May of 1996, Xzibit released his hit single Paparazzi. Now, the lyrics to this song were misconstrued by Edie and a few others from the Outlaws who told Park that there were a few MCs that were on their shit can list, and two of those MCs that Edie and a few others from the Outlaws mentioned were Chino XL and Xzibit. Now, Chino XL made a direct reference to Tupac. However, the exception being with Xzibit that he wasn't directly talking about Tupac, it was mere interpretation of the lyrics of his song Paparazzi that got Edie to suggest to Tupac that they were in fact aimed at Tupac himself, because Paparazzi is talking about actors who were trying to play the part of a rapper, and basically the song saying they should stick to acting. And some of the Outlaw members heard this song because it was a hit song when it came out, and they thought that maybe those lyrics could be directed at Tupac. And since Xzibit was looking to be the next big name on the block, the Outlaws thought that Xzibit would be a good target, so they put the idea to Park that the next target on their list was Xzibit. That was one of the final targets that was picked for MCs coming onto the scene. Now, Park knew about a lot of the up-and-comers. He was a fan of UGK. He heard them in concert a few months before he passed away, and now he was being told about Xzibit a few months before he passed away. He was told that Xzibit was his enemy. So Bomb First was put together, and Edie goes off at Xzibit. He doesn't directly reference the name Xzibit. He says to that G that made Paparazzi, and then says some other disparaging things, basically talking about Xzibit. So it was more an Outlaws beef. It was more misunderstanding, misconception, misinterpretation that really got this one kicking off. And they thought that, yeah, Paparazzi was directly aimed at Tupac, but it wasn't. It was not. Xzibit came out and said that that song was not intended for Tupac, or was not aimed at Tupac. It was, I think, at that time, the Outlaws were looking to really rile up potential competition. So it just so happened to be that Xzibit dropped his hit single and was the target of the Outlaws. They were hungry to eat competition up, and I think that's what happened. And I don't think that Tupac saw much into the song. He was probably, I think from what I've heard, the Outlaws told him about Xzibit. They decided to aim Bomb First at a lot of people, and Jay-Z to Mobb Deep to Chino XL, and also I think Xzibit was on the tail end of that, all because of Paparazzi. But Paparazzi was not aimed at Tupac in any way. It was just that the Outlaws were looking for a reason, I guess, to take aim at whoever was on the come up. And it was interesting because that could have easily been DMX. Had DMX come out a couple of years earlier with hit singles, I'm sure that DMX would have found himself being cussed out. But that's how that all kicked off, and that's how we have Bomb First, and we have Edie in the outro ripping into Xzibit. Now, the Outlaws have come out and publicly apologised to Xzibit many years later. They've squashed their beef many years ago, and now it's all good. And, it is what it is. But, it was very unusual. It was one of the last beefs that really Tupac found himself pushed into. I'm going to say pushed into because it was the Outlaws who pushed him into that one. And it eventuated with the song Bomb First. But it does stand that there could be Rick Rock, who was one of the producers at the time working with Tupac. There is a possibility that Tupac did mention Xzibit in some outtakes of some of these songs. It's possible, I don't know. If there is, they haven't been released. They may be released at some point in the future. We may hear a reference to Xzibit directly coming from old recordings of Pac. But as it stands now, nothing has leaked where Tupac directly makes reference to Xzibit. That's not to say that there isn't anything. There could be something in the vault. But we will see one day. Anyway, I'm MC Rapology. Be sure to sub to this channel. Share, like, subscribe. You know the deal. Peace.